Hi everyone. So today what we're doing, we're going back to solve by factoring. So we're going to solve a quadratic equation by factoring. So what is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is an equation with x squared. So for us, a quadratic equation is going to be x squared, blah, blah, blah. So this could be x squared plus 7x plus, let's do 12, okay? And it's an equation, so we need an equal sign. So this is a quadratic because there's x squared. Equations, there's an equal sign. Now, I joked around last time that how do you solve a problem like this? Do we just randomly guess what x would be? Could we get rid of the 12? And we tried those in our last video, and you can go and take a look at that later. But all the methods that we would traditionally try with a regular Algebra 1, like first semester problem, don't work here. So we needed a special way of solving this. Now, the way we did that was we thought about factoring. If I could break this up into two easier problems, then this problem is actually a lot easier to solve. We said, what numbers multiply to become 12 that add up to 7? So 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Do any of these guys add up to 7? Does 1 and 12 add up to 7? Does 2 and 6 add up to 7? Does 3 and 4 add up to 7? And probably you see it, 3 and 4 add up to 7. So that's how we know what numbers we use for our factors. X times x in the front. X times x is x squared. And 3 times 4 is 12. And hopefully they combine out to become 7. And we said, that's 4x and 3x add up to 7 if they're both plus. It looks like a guy wearing headphones. Okay. So now we are at this point where we're done factoring, and we spent our whole last chapter factoring that. Thank you, 3 and 4, the other option. And hopefully you guys are getting better at spotting it. My whole reason why I teach factoring the way it is, or the way I do by just writing down the possibilities, is that eventually you won't have to write down these possibilities anymore. You can think, oh wait, 1, 6, nope, 2, 4, no, 2, 6, 1, 12, oh, 3, 4 add up to 7. So you can just naturally do this. From this step, we said we can separate them. So we separate them and solve for each of these for 0. And that was because we had something called zero product property. And this rule here, zero product property, says, hey, anything times 0 is 0. If I make u 0, good, we solved it. If I make u 0, good, we solved it. So we could solve them each for 0. We do the opposite operations, minus 3 to both sides. And then our next step is x is equal to negative 3. X equals, oh, sorry, that was 4. This was 4, we're minus 4. So now we have two possibilities here. We have x is equal to negative 3 and x equals negative 4. And these are the solutions that would make this problem originally would go to 0. Why is that? Well, if I plugged in negative 3 here, what's negative 3? Let me use a different color. What is negative 3 plus 3? Is negative 3 plus 3 0? And 0 times any number is 0. In this case, it would have been, if I plugged in negative 3 to both of them, 4 minus 3 is 1. Isn't 1 times 0 or 0 times 1? 0? That worked for us. If I plugged in negative 4, negative 4, negative 4. Well, negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. And negative 4 plus 4 on the right here is 0. Isn't negative 1 times 0 still 0? So there was more than one way for us to solve for this problem. And in math, we want to solve for all the ways. Math is very specific because I don't want just one solution. I want all the possible solutions. If you have an answer that works, I want to know it. And if you only find one answer, that's not a complete solution. So let's go ahead and say our solution here is x can be negative 3 and negative 4. These are the solutions. And this does make x squared plus 7x plus 12 go to 0. So instead of randomly guessing, we found a method to solve these special quadratics, and that's by factoring. We'll have another method later. What if it isn't factorable? And that's called the quadratic equation. And we'll learn how to do that also. That is a little bit harder, and it takes a little bit more of some perseverance. but factoring is always the easiest if it's factorable. Let's give ourselves another problem here. Let's look at x squared minus 4x minus 12 is equal to 0, okay? We still have our 12 here. Now, can you think of what numbers multiply to become 12 that subtract out to become 8? Remember, this sign here tells you to add or subtract to become that 4. So go ahead and think about numbers that you can multiply to become 12, right? Ask yourself, what numbers do I multiply to 1 times what? 2 times what? 3 times what? Do any of these subtract out to become 4? 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. And when you write it out, you can see it. And a lot of you guys on your test did not write any numbers. So I was trying to figure out, when I asked you guys to show me what you're thinking about, what numbers did you try? I didn't see any work. For easy problems like this, level 1, sure, you can probably figure out super fast. But when the problems get harder and you don't write anything, I think you're cheating. Okay? And the goal is to not cheat. If you cheat, finding easy ways out, fine. That works for some cases, right? It's finding a shortcut. But when it is taking away from your learning and building a skill, that's gonna hurt you in the long run, because then you will not know how to solve for it in geometry. X, what are my factors? We said 2 and 6 is 2 times 6 is 12, and 6 minus 2 is 4. 2 and 6, minus and a plus. Why did I say a minus 6? Because negative 6 plus 2, that multiplies to become negative 12, but that still also combines to become negative 4. We need more negatives here. Equals to 0. Can you tell me automatically, without doing any more work here, what would make these go to 0? What would cancel out a plus 2? What would cancel out a 6? Thank you. Negative 2 would cancel out the front, but a positive 6 would cancel out the back. So they're two different answers, but they both would 100% work. I'm going to go ahead and check the 6 for you guys. 6 squared minus 4 times 6 minus 12. Would you become 0? Again, I'm just double checking. Hey, 6 is an answer. Let's plug in 6. 36 minus 24 minus 12 is equal to 0. 36 minus 24 is 12. And 12 minus 12, oh my goodness, that was actually an answer here. That was a possibility. Okay, let's do some harder problems. What if I give you a problem that says 2x squared plus 11x plus 12? The first thing I would do is look, are there any like terms with 2, 11, or 12? Any like terms between 2, 11, or 12? Just in case I can make this problem easier, and I can't divide 11 by 2. So now we have to write down all the possibilities. Now, again, if you took the test and you guys did not show this work, I couldn't give you credit, and I minus points from it. And I pretty much thought you were using a calculator online. So 2 times 1, 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, 4. Can you guys find a combination that adds up to 11? 2 and 1 is we're for sure going to use 2 and 1. Now, which combination do you think you can combine 2 times what? Would I multiply 2 times 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, or 4? To get 11. So I'm just multiplying in my head, picking a couple of sets, and I see that 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 4 is 4, and they do not add up to 11. That's 10, right? But if I flip it and I say instead, sorry, 2 times 4 and 1 times 3. 2 times 4 is 8, 1 times 3 is 3. Oh my goodness, that is 11. So sometimes it takes us a little bit of trial and error, but the goal is that we'll find a pattern, we'll find a way of doing this. And of course, if it doesn't work the first time, try another pair. If I try 2 and 1 and 1 and 12, 2 and 2 and 1 and 6, the idea is that we're going through sets. It isn't always obvious, but for sure, if it's factorable, one of these will work. So let's go ahead and rewrite it. I will draw my frog face, 2x, x, I draw the frog face. And we multiply 2 by what? 2 by 4. That gave me 8, and then 3 has to sit in the other slot. Plus plus is a plus plus. Now, how do you get better at this? Just like riding a bike, you just gotta keep trying. Now, for this problem here, we're gonna have to do a couple more steps. We said 2x plus 3 is equal to 0, and x plus 4 is equal to 0. So we're solving by factoring. This isn't a problem that we could have guessed on. And if you don't show any work, how'd you get here? Because 2x plus 3 seemed like the right choice? No, I wouldn't say we couldn't guess that. We would have to continue to try it. All right, so minus 3 to both sides and here. And then we're left with 2x minus 3, is equal to negative 3. Then the opposite operation, divide by 2. X is equal to a fraction, 3 over 2. On the right, minus 4, x is equal to negative 4. Okay. So I'm going to do one more level 2 problem. Right now, if you guys get the idea, go ahead and start homework number 28. I'm going to check out your progress. So today, before you're being dismissed, you have to show progress on homework number 28, okay? So if you want, you can get started right now if you understand what's going on. And please start homework number 28. The first couple questions are not difficult, but you have to show progress before you guys will be dismissed. If not, you'll be here. Now, we're going to spend the rest of the time in class working on these assignments, whether you're working on yesterday's assignment or working on today's assignment. If you're not sure, let's go do another problem. 7x squared plus 41x plus 30 is equal to 0. Okay. 7 times 1. 30 is 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, and 5 and 6, right? You have to know your multiplication tables. We're in Algebra 1. Hopefully you know them well. If you don't know them, you can learn them. It's not hard. You guys can use your phone, download. Just go to your app store and write multiplication, and then you come up with apps that will help you memorize them. Okay, so how am I going to add up to become 41? This is a little tricky. How can I add to 41? I'm looking at a bunch of numbers here. I'm trying 7 times 3, right? 7 times 3 is 21, and then 21 plus 10, nope. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 15 is 39. 7 times 5 is 35. Oh, there it is. 7 times 5, oops. 7 times 5 is 35. And then 1 times 6 is 6. 35 plus 6 is 41. So we found the number set that works. Now we have to make sure we write it right. All right, 7x, and we have 1x. That's the front number. 7 and 1. That's the front numbers. The back numbers. 7 times 5 is 35, and 6 goes into the other slot. There's plus plus, so we want 35 and 6. 35. 7 times 5 is 35. 6 times 1 is 6. We can add them to become 41. Okay, so now our next step is 7x plus 6. Now the problem with this is high school level math. There is not one step. These aren't one-step problems anymore. You have to come up with a plan. People who come up with plans get paid the most money in life. Okay, minus opposite operation, 7x is equal to negative 6. If you are a problem solver, if you feel like you are a problem solver, Algebra 1 is all about problem solving. It might not be problems with like your family or psychological problems, I guess, but they're problems. You have to come up with a method to solve the situation. Okay, we have two answers here. One's a fraction, we would never have guessed that answer, and the other one is 5. Let me go ahead and just verify you that this works. Let's use 5 because that's the easy one. 7 times negative 5 squared plus 41 times negative 5 plus 30. This doesn't even come close to looking like it's going to work. But 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 7, what's 7 quarters? 7 quarters is 175, negative 100. Wait, 7 quarters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Yeah, 175 plus, what's 4 times 5? That's 20. So 200, negative 200. Oops, that's negative. Is it negative? Oh, this is positive. I'm sorry, positive. Negative 205 plus 30. If I subtract these from each other, we end up with a negative 30 plus 30 is equal, oh my goodness, that would give us 0. Okay. So right now, if you haven't logged into Schoology, please log into Schoology. You guys are working on homework number 28. It's going to ask you to put stuff in order, going to match up some pairs based on last homework. And the next one is also at the very end of it, you have 8 questions looking like exactly what we did here. You're going to show the work, take a picture of it, and upload it to receive credit on this homework. Cool. That's it.